They fed the animals, stoked the fire, slept where the dead lay. The dark theory says they belong there. You've heard the story before. A family on a lonely Bavarian farm. 6 victims. No footprints leading away. But tonight, we're not reopening the case. We're stepping into its shadow. Because one theory refuses to die. The one that says the killer didn't just invade Hinterkaifeck. They became part of it. Investigators, historians, and armchair detectives have each tried to name the murderer. A jealous neighbor, a passing drifter, even a family secret buried too deep. But this darker theory, it's not about who. It's about what kind of mind could do this and stay. It asks, what if the murders weren't just acts of violence, but rituals of control, obsession, and decay? The strange part isn't the murders themselves, it's what happened after. The animals were fed. The fire kept burning. The meals half-eaten, still warm. Someone stayed. Someone felt at home. Even the surviving neighbors spoke of smoke from the chimney. They thought the family was alive. But the theory suggests the opposite, that the killer had blurred the line between intruder and inhabitant. That Hinterkaifeck became an accomplice. Forensic psychology wasn't a thing in 1922, but modern profilers now look at those actions, feeding animals, cleaning the house, staying near the dead, as classic signatures of possession behavior. Some killers revisit their crimes. Others inhabit them. They find order in chaos, keeping routines, maintaining the illusion that life continues. In this case, the dark theory argues that whoever stayed wasn't hiding. They were performing normalcy, for themselves or for the ghosts. In the months before the murders, Andreas Gruber allegedly found footprints in the snow, leading from the forest to the attic, but none returning. He heard footsteps above his bed, objects misplaced, keys missing. The first maid quit because she swore the house was haunted. The Grubers ignored the signs. Now, imagine those events through this theory. Not paranormal, but preparatory. Someone watching, waiting, learning the rhythm of life inside Hinterkaifeck until they could replace it. The night of March 31st, 1922. No break-in. No forced door. The family lured one by one into the barn. This wasn't frenzy. It was orchestration. Methodical. Silent. Controlled. And the killer, according to the dark theory, may have rehearsed this moment for months. From inside the walls, beneath the roof, within the sound of their breathing. This theory isn't about identity, it's about pathology. A mind that needs proximity to power. Someone capable of splitting reality in two, murder and maintenance, without collapse. Psychologists might call it delusional parasitic attachment. The killer doesn't see themselves as an outsider. They merge with their victim's space. Their presence replaces their absence. At Hinterkaifeck, that could explain everything. The care for animals, the burned candles, the kitchen still in use. But what makes the dark theory terrifying is how easily it could still point inward. A neighbor who knew the house, a worker who'd been inside, someone trusted enough to move unnoticed. Lorenz Schlittenbauer's name appears in countless reports, often accused, never charged. Some say he knew too much about the scene. Others say his grief was genuine. The dark theory doesn't accuse him directly. It warns that killers in plain sight are often familiar faces. Faces that linger too long in the doorway. After the investigation failed, Hinterkaifeck became a ghost. Visitors took souvenirs. The house was eventually demolished, but the land never felt empty. Even decades later, locals reported unease, tools going missing, footsteps on frost, and sometimes faint smoke in the morning light. The dark theory suggests energy doesn't just vanish. When violence consumes a place, it sometimes lingers as behavior, repeating, echoing, waiting for an audience. Let's be clear, none of this is confirmed. The official record never solved the case. Every theory, including this one, remains alleged. But evidence from multiple archives does confirm that. Someone stayed after the murders. Someone tended the animals. No one saw anyone leave. So whether it was madness, grief, or something darker, the fact remains, Hinterkaifeck was alive even after its people were dead. Maybe the truth isn't about a person at all. Maybe it's about what isolation does, how silence breeds obsession, and how one human shadow can blur into legend until it becomes eternal. Because when the world forgets your name, sometimes the darkness remembers it for you. Which theory chills you most? The insider's secret or the traveler's curse? Comment your take below, and subscribe to Haunting Cold Cases before the next shadow is unearthed.